Hey, what's up guys? John here. Warren Buffett just unloaded 50% of his entire Apple stock.
Unless something dramatically happens that really changes capital allocation, we will have Apple as our largest investment.
He's sitting now in north of $200 billion in dry powder. This is a record for Berkshire Hathaway. Now why? Well, it could be that major buying opportunities are coming. Maybe that's why Leon Black of Apollo is selling stock.
Leon Black is selling stock in Apollo for the first time in 3 years. He unloaded over $172 million in stock.
Jeff Bezos selling stock. Elon Musk selling stock. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon unloading shares.
A growing cohort of billionaires and CEOs are unloading stock and at an increasing pace.
A string of high-profile CEOs, founders, and heirs are selling a massive amount of stocks at their own companies lately.
All the big names, all the really smart, wealthy people that have a lot of great information at their disposal are using the information and deciding to sell right now. Now you have to ask yourself why. Could it be that there's downside in this upcoming stock market? It looks like it. Did you know the Dow has doubled in the last 4 years? Stocks are at all-time highs. And to me, it seems like there's a lot more likelihood of downside risk than upside gains, especially when you start looking at Intel and a lot of these large companies cutting costs. The economy is going through a big change. The billionaires know it, and soon everyone else will as well. In this video, I'm going to break it down and show you exactly who is doing what and exactly what this is going to mean for America. Please hit the like button, YouTube will share the content, educate more people what's happening in our country and our economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself what I believe is going to be a massive wealth transfer, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in a credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for tomorrow. Take a look at this. So, I mean, this is wild. Berkshire sitting on $277 billion as operating profits set record. He's saying, according to Fortune magazine, that it's likely we're going to see higher taxes due to the national debt. The national debt won't pay itself. And if you look at what we're walking into over the next 6 months, this election, we could see corporate taxes go up. We could see taxes as a whole throughout America go up. And these billionaires don't want to pay taxes on those sales. They don't want to pay more tax than they have to. And so they want to liquidate now. But look at Apple, for example. Did you know that Apple was trading in 2020 for, $60, $70? That's how much one share of Apple was trading for, in early 2020. Now it's $219. So essentially increased 400% inside of the last 4 years. So every year it's going up 100%. If you were a billionaire sitting on thousands and thousands and thousands of shares, what would you do? We probably try to pull some of that profit off, take profits. The Dow in 2020 was at $21,000. 21,000. It's essentially doubled over the last 4-year period. Jeff Bezos, they say that his losses in net worth, $21 billion over the last 21 hours and 20 hours due to what's going on in his stock with Amazon and many stocks right now. But what did Jeff Bezos do? Well, Jeff Bezos was unloading tons of stock. I mean, it's shocking how much stock he was unloading. It's somewhere north of 20 billion since 2020. You look at Tesla, same thing with Tesla. Tesla shares in 2020, $34 for a Tesla share. Now it's $200. So it's increased 600%. 600%. And then, of course, Elon, looking at that, he cashed out $39 billion. Now, some people say, look, he cashed out $39 billion because he had to pay taxes or he wanted to buy Twitter or, whatever the reason may be. But look, if your stock increased 600%, would you sell? Would you sell some shares? Damn right, you'd probably sell some shares, right? And same thing with CEO of NVIDIA. He cashed out 3.36 million shares for $424 million in June through July, right before the big correction, right? Then you look at NVIDIA stock. In 2020, NVIDIA's stock was $7. $7. Now it's $107. So nearly a 10x, more than 10x, like 14x in the last 4 years. Then you look at, same thing, Airbnb. Airbnb insiders have sold more than $1 billion. That was in 2022. You look at Airbnb stock in 2022, you're somewhere in the $150, $200 range. You're way above where you are right now, depending on where you sold, right? It's in every major company. Look at the CEO of Salesforce, Mark Benioff. He was selling 5,000 shares a day in 2020. That is wild. And then he increased to 15,000 daily in the last quarter of the year. 15,000 shares a day. And when you look at Salesforce, in 2020, that stock was trading, in the 150 range all the way up to, you call it 258. And now what's going on with Salesforce? Salesforce is not looking good, right? They're cashing out. It's obvious. Same thing, JP Morgan Chase, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, he had just sold 32 million, and then he also committed to selling 183 million. So north of $200 million worth of stock that he is cashing out on. JP Morgan Chase stock in 2020, you're looking at $102. The shares have essentially doubled inside of JP Morgan Chase. It's across literally every single industry. Apollo, cashed out, look, Leon Block sold $173 million worth of stock. And what is Apollo going through right now? Well, in 2020, it was $50. Apollo has doubled. But if you look, interestingly, if you look at Apollo stock now, it dropped 20% in the last couple days, from $125 to $103. And something's happening in this economy. Something's really happening. And when you put all of this money out into the system with PPP loans, EIDL loans, all these large corporations were sucking up all this money, and it was reflected in their stock price. They were making a fortune. They wanted to pull some of that risk off the table during the peak. And now what's happening? That money is gone. The only thing left is debt. And a lot of these companies use that money to expand. They expanded rapidly, hiring employees, issuing them ridiculous sign-on bonuses, massive pay raises, incentives. They were offering everything to try to attract talent. They were buying different locations and distribution facilities. They were expanding. But now, what do they have? They have a lot of debt from that expansion, and consumers aren't supporting the companies as much because they don't have the same type of money that they had 3 years ago. And so consumers every single month are spending a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. And what we're going to have, I believe, is a complete restructuring of a lot of these companies. We're going to see many of these companies slash headcounts by 40, 50, 60%. We're going to see them close up locations. I mean, you're seeing that right now across office in San Francisco. A lot of these major hubs, they're slashing their entire footprint, or most of it in most cases. It's all for a clear reason. Everything is about to go through a big change. And I think inside of this change is also going to present a major opportunity. Because you think about this, when you have the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of employees that work for these companies, many of these employees are extremely intelligent and educated. They're looking for a place to work, right? So there's going to be a great opportunity to hire smart, talented people. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity to invest in a lot of distress. People think that this stock market crash that we've seen over the last week or so is going to be this major, that was the major event. You think about it, when the stock market has increased 400% in 4 years, we haven't seen anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet. What we're going to walk into, I think, is panic. That's what I think we're going to walk into. But I think it's going to be gradual panic. Right now we're so normalized by all the craziness that we see. Every day it's some major breaking story. And then the following day everyone forgets about it. I think the same thing is going to happen in stocks. It's going to be bad day, and then a good day, and then a worse day, and then a small recovery, and then a worse day, and a worse day, and it's going to just get worse and worse and worse. That's what I think is going to happen with stock. And I think that's why the billionaires, they know that consumers aren't going to be able to support their businesses like they did in the past. And this free money era is over, and they wanted to take their money. And I think they're going to be using this money to invest heavily in infrastructure, in land, in single-family homes. They're going to be deploying this money because the dollar is in really, really, really big trouble. And the more assets and infrastructure they own, the more power and authority they'll have. What do you think about this entire scenario? Where do you see all this going? Do you think we're walking into a major stock market crash over the next, call it 12 months? You think we're going to see some big change like what Warren Buffett's saying? He thinks that we're going to see higher taxes. If that does happen, and they say, look, we're going to be increasing capital gains on stock sales, and the stock market just went up, 100% in the last 4 years, do you think we're going to see people saying, you know what, I'd rather sell. I'd rather sell. Might not be everybody, but if it's a small fraction, that's going to mean a lot more sellers than buyers, and meaning we're going to likely see stock prices come down in a really big way. So I don't see how the Dow is going to go to 50 or 45,000. I don't see it. I think we're going to just see a slow change inside of the stock market. And I think we're going to see a slow change inside of America. But it's going to feel like it's happening all at once, but it's going to be slow and gradual daily. What do you think about this entire scenario? Let's have a conversation about this below. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for this, I think a lot of people are leveraged. I think a lot of people are going to be forced to sell at the wrong times. Not just stocks, but I'm saying real estate in general. If you have great credit and you have cash in the bank and you have stable income, you are going to be positioned to invest and really make some incredible investments. So if you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any issue at all like that in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free call for Monday, and I'll catch you next video.